guys, it's Danny. Alrighty, today we're gonna make some updates on some orchids we worked upon in the past, show you how they're doing, maybe some orchids we didn't see in a long time. In any case, some developments or evolutions that I find interesting, and also because on my older videos I do get questions of, do we have an update on this orchid, how is she doing, and so on. So this is a sort of a collection of updates on some interesting orchids or sick orchids and so on. So let's see, where do we start first? I think we shall start with this Oncidium, which is not necessarily an Oncidium. It is a Odontoglossum naevium. So in a previous video, I was telling you that this guy suffered from some rotting of the pseudobulb. And in the back there, you can see what I mean. Yeah, this guy is really not looking okay. The problem was that I could not carve out this infection because I would have to carve out the new growth as well. So at the moment, the infection doesn't seem to spread all that fast, if at all. It didn't come to the front, as you can see, and this new growth is actually still growing, which is good news. It is also starting to produce tiny new roots, which makes me a little bit happier. And today was watering day, but I do notice that when this orchid gets slightly dry, it does tend to shrivel. And when I water it, it plumps a little bit. So there are functional roots inside the pot, and also this pseudobulb is still functional, even though this thing in the back right here, this looks very scary, and yeah, it doesn't seem to spread, but it is an infection, and whether it's spreading very slow or not, I'm not sure. It looks horrible. I don't know. I am happy that this new growth is starting to produce roots. I'm hoping it's gonna grow fast enough because the mother bulb might be lost. So far so good. It's still holding on, and I'm still hopeful, but you saw how it looks like. It's pretty horrible. Okay, next up is the Zygopetalum, and if you know me already, you know I'm not very successful with Zygopetalums. I just had a streak of very bad luck with them, and my latest death, Zygopetalum death, which would be the 5th, it was due to Fusarium. The orchid slowly died. I checked it, it had Fusarium. Yeah, so I don't know, bad luck, some bad treatment from my part, maybe a mixture of things. But this is a Zygopetalum I actually received from one of my viewers not very long ago. And as you can see, some of the older leaves are dying off. But I have new growth on this orchid. There's one in the back there, which looks okay. I did not expect that very old bulb to create a new growth. That's why she's on the edge. I'll maybe try to train it to grow further in the front. I thought this would be the side which is responsible for the new growth, and it is. That was just a surprise. So in the front, we do have a new growth as well. That is looking quite great. The orchid is producing roots, and they're looking quite okay. It is pretty stable in her pot, actually. There's no wiggling or excessive wiggling, so that's good. There are roots in the pot, and these growths are looking okay. But yeah, some of the older leaves are just deciding to die off. I'm not sure why, because I'm not actually showering or misting this orchid in any way. And if you know Zygopetalums, you know they're really prone to having spots on their leaves. These leaves didn't have spots. They're just kind of melting off. I hope it's not a bad sign, but yeah, so far he's still alive, which is a first for me. So yay for that, but we'll see what happens in the future. So a while back we separated a spike keiki from this orchid because it had one basal keiki, a spike keiki, a flower spike, and this is a sequential bloomer, and this new leaf was not growing properly. I think it started to regrow again, but very slowly, and it just started to do so in the past couple of weeks or so. So things are pretty slow for the mother orchid, but I think she's enjoying the less stress. But let's take a look at the keiki that we separated, and by the way, if you missed that video, I'll add it in the description below. So this is the baby keiki, and it's not dead. So the leaf actually looks hydrated, everything looks okay. This keiki only has 2 little roots. For a successful propagation, you do need that keiki to have multiple roots and longer roots than this. This root was actually about this size, so not very big, and I'm not sure how much it went into the pot. But the keiki looks rather stable. I don't want to move it too much because it hasn't been all that long. But the root is actually absorbing water. It maintains this keiki hydrated. As you can see, the leaf still looks good. There is no second leaf just yet. I don't know, maybe it's taking its time, maybe it's focusing on root production since I separated it from the mother plant earlier than I should have. So yeah, so far so good though. It's still alive, which is a good thing. Speaking about keikis, this is my Sedirea japonica, very prone to producing keikis. It had 4 keikis. We separated them. One was lost because it was just crooked. I actually do need to add some more medium here and there and place them a little bit better. but already you can see the mother plant is not so shriveled anymore. If you remember, she really didn't look all that great. She's not looking spectacular now, don't get me wrong, but she does look more hydrated. This keiki lost a leaf, as you can see, but there is one growing. There you go. Let's give you a profile. That's a leaf growing. It didn't used to be there, so that's good. The other keiki, again, not looking the best, but he does look slightly more hydrated than what he looks like. But I'm so happy about the mother plant. She's actually looking like she's picking up growth. Slowly, that's for sure, but I think she's looking a little better. Okay, this is my epidendrum. In one of my videos, I was telling you that the mother plant simply did not want to produce roots, no matter what. And it actually produced this keiki that I saved and I potted separately. It is growing roots, and as you can see, it is developing, which is good. I'm hoping to create a brand new plant from this one. And the thing is, it's growing excruciatingly slow, but yeah, I guess it is to be expected. I don't think there is a massive root system in the pot just yet. It's too soon. But at least he is developing quite nicely. The leaves are looking quite okay. I am providing bright light for it, nutrients, and pretty good temperatures, so really hope it will speed up growth. Problem is, day length is pretty short, so that's not on my side. But yeah, so far it's still alive, so I'm happy with that. Okay, the Catasetums that I recently purchased. These guys, they don't want to sleep. They don't want to go in dormancy. Moreover, the only one that lost its leaves is this one, which is preparing buds, so he's not dormant just yet. Moreover, let me show you this one. They're not potted just yet. I'm waiting for them to get dormant, and of course my camera is not in focus. Alrighty, better. So this guy, yeah, not dormant. It came with this little growth right here, but what happens now is that this little eye here is plumping up. Is that a flower spike? Is that a new growth? Who knows? But he's not going into dormancy. He doesn't want to be dormant. And I want to show you another thing. Okay, so this is the jumbo puff with its flower spikes. I cannot wait to repot this guy. If I can show you, it's hard to do this with one hand. Do you see that? That's a new growth on a back bulb. So, are you ever gonna go into dormancy? I highly doubt it. I hope he's gonna bloom and he's gonna finish blooming just in time for this growth to create a new root system so I can safely pot it without damaging more roots than I should. But yeah, they're giving me a little bit of a headache right now because they're not all seasoned. They're not all on the same time frame, if I can call it like that. So yeah, that's what's going on. Other than that, they're looking okay, except this potting medium. It's awful. Cannot wait to repot them. You can see I already have some molds in there as well. It's pretty gross. And as for my older Catasetums, they don't want to go dormant either. This is the Wine Delight. Not growing any new spikes, but not going dormant either. I didn't really check for a new growth, but I don't think it's happening. And the Millennium Magic, finally she's shedding one leaf, but again, she doesn't really go dormant. Moreover, she is producing something here. I showed you in previous videos. Is that a new growth? Is that a spike? Who knows? But she's not really willing to go dormant. She's just like one of those kids that simply doesn't want to go to bed, although it's for its own good. Alrighty, the Masdevallia that spent 1 month on transport. We kind of repotted it a while back. I'll add the link in the description if you missed it so you see what's going on. This orchid is indeed producing roots, and it had a few new growths that looked promising. They're not very well developed, and they're already starting to produce new growths of their own. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. She's not dying, so that's good. But yeah, she is acting a little bit weird. I'm hoping these new growths that she's working on will actually be normal. As you can see, these growths are not opening fully. That's a sign of dehydration. The orchid is still working on the root system. It's not established in any way. It doesn't have an impressive root system in any way, so I guess it's understandable, but she is kind of weird. And this is the Phalaenopsis with crown rot. As you can see, this keiki, he's looking mighty fine, isn't he? Working on leaves, and this has only been 6 months since we acquired this orchid, so talk about fast growth. Of course, there are a lot of roots, and I was actually planning at some point to separate this keiki from the mother orchid. It's pretty impossible now. The only thing I can do is to actually separate the mother plant from the keiki and leave the keiki in the pot. Not sure how I'm gonna do that, so for now they will still have to live together and be attached. They're really no problem, but in time I suspect the mother orchid will indeed die. She doesn't have any reason to be alive. She will continue to live through this keiki, so we'll see what happens then. For now, it's going okay, and the keiki is looking great. Overall, the entire orchid doesn't look very appealing, but that's okay. Okay, and the last things that I'm gonna update you on are two orchids you really don't see a lot in my videos. Nothing's really happening, so that's why. They are two Encyclias. This is the Encyclia brassavolee, and this is the Encyclia prismatocarpa, or prismatocarpum. They're not doing all that much, although they look pretty good. They are growing new growths, which is nice. But other than that, really, nothing's happening, and the growths are quite big. They just didn't bloom, which is slightly sad. You can see that growth is big as well there, but it simply doesn't want to bloom. So here's to hoping that these new growths will bloom, because these two orchids are true beauties. And I've had them for almost 2 years now, or a year and a half, something of the sorts. One is from Schwerter, one is from eBay. And it really saddens me that I didn't get any blooms from these guys. So let's see, maybe this year I will have more luck with them. If not, maybe there's something in my care that I'm doing wrong, although they look okay, don't they? I mean, they're happy, they're healthy, but there might be something that I'm doing wrong. So if there will be no bloom on these growths, considering they will be large, I don't know how they handled the move. They look pretty okay, but I don't know. So if they're large enough and capable of blooming and they don't bloom, I might actually do something wrong. So I'll see what to do. I'll check out the care information for them once again and we'll figure it out. But yeah, if you have any ideas, let me know. And that's about it for today's updates. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy this video and would like to see more updates on my orchids, give it a thumbs up. If you hated this video and never want to see updates again, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe to my channel for daily orchid and plants videos, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Things are so nice and lovely in the greenhouse, but outside, the wind is just... do you hear it? It's scary, and I had to go and fix a few of my plants outside on the terrace because they were just bumped over. So imagine if I had my whole orchid collection outside. Not pretty at all.